One lazy bed. Stretch to instantly kill. Sciatica nerve pain. Do this before sleeping. Have you ever laid in bed staring at the ceiling, completely exhausted, but utterly unable to sleep, because it feels like a hot wire is shooting down the back of your leg? That deep throbbing ache that starts in your lower back, or your glutes and travels all the way down the back of your thigh, into your calf, or even right down into your toes. You try sleeping flat on your back, but it hurts. You roll onto your side, but it hurts even worse. You shove a pillow between your knees. You put one under your feet. You contort yourself into a twisted pretzel, trying to find just one comfortable angle. But nothing stops that relentless burning nerve pain. You watch the clock tick past midnight, then 1 in the morning, knowing that tomorrow is going to be ruined because you are going to be completely drained of energy. If that agonizing nighttime cycle sounds familiar to you, you are in exactly the right place today. Because tonight that cycle of misery ends. You don't need to get out of bed. You don't need to buy any expensive massage gadgets. You don't even need to stand up. I'm going to show you one incredibly simple, completely lazy stretch that you can do while lying flat on your mattress. This single, gentle movement is specifically designed to target the exact hidden source of your sciatica, release the crushing pressure on that angry nerve, and give you the instant relief you need to finally fall into a deep, restorative sleep. To really fix this, we need to talk about what sciatica actually is, because understanding your enemy is the absolute first step to defeating it. Most people, and sadly even a lot of doctors, immediately assume that sciatica is a lower back problem. They think it is always a herniated disc or a degenerating spine. And sure, sometimes a spinal issue is the culprit. But for a massive portion of people, especially as we get a little older and our daily habits change, the spine itself isn't the main troublemaker at all. The real villain is a sneaky, pear-shaped piece of tissue hidden deep inside your buttocks called the piriformis muscle. Think of your sciatic nerve like a thick electrical cable. It is actually the longest and thickest nerve in your entire body. It runs from the base of your spine, travels right through the deep tissues of your buttocks, and branches all the way down your legs. Now, right over top of that nerve, and in some unlucky people, straight through the dead center of it, sits that piriformis muscle. Your piriformis is responsible for helping you rotate your hip and turn your leg outward. But when we sit for long periods of time in recliners, when our posture shifts over the years, or even just from the daily wear and tear of life, that specific muscle gets tight, it gets rigid, it spasms. And when it tightens up, it acts like a vice grip, clamping down directly onto your sciatic nerve. Imagine a heavy work boot stepping hard onto a garden hose. The water cannot flow. The pressure builds up behind the blockage. In your body, that physical pressure translates to pure, agonizing pain. Your brain starts receiving panicked distress signals screaming that something is terribly wrong. That is the burning you feel. That is the sharp tingling. That is the numbness in your toes. And the cruelest part of all is that when you finally lie down at night to get some rest, your body weight pushes your glutes down into the mattress, compressing that already tight, angry muscle against the nerve even harder. That is exactly why your sciatica seems to magically flare up the second you try to go to sleep. Let me tell you about a man who was stuck in this exact terrible loop. We will call him Richard. Richard is a guy who has always been active. He loved taking care of his garden, doing woodworking in his garage, and getting down on the floor to play with his grandkids. He was enjoying his retirement. But then the sciatica started creeping in. At first, it was just a little twinge in his hip when he stood up from the couch after watching a movie. He ignored it. We all do that, right? We figure we just slept funny, and it will just go away on its own. But it didn't go away. It grew into a constant, dull, annoying ache. And within just a few short months, it escalated into a blazing fire shooting down his left leg every single day. Richard's entire life began to shrink. He stopped working in his garden because bending over felt like a knife in his hip. He stopped taking his wife for their evening walks because after just 10 minutes his calf would go completely numb and he would start dragging his foot. But the absolute worst part of his day was the nights. Richard was averaging maybe 3 hours of broken, miserable sleep a night. He tried absolutely everything to fix it. He bought a drawer full of expensive orthopedic pillows. He started swallowing over-the-counter painkillers by the handful, which did nothing for the nerve pain, but completely wrecked his stomach. He even went out and dropped $2,000 on a brand-new, wildly expensive mattress, thinking his old bed was to blame for his misery. Nothing worked. He was exhausted, he was irritable all day long, and he was rapidly losing hope. He was fully convinced that at his age this was just his new normal. He thought spinal surgery was his only way out of the pain. Then he learned about the mechanical trap happening inside his own hip. He realized he didn't necessarily have a broken back, he had a strangled nerve. He realized that popping pain pills for a mechanical compression problem is like taking a Tylenol because there is a rock in your shoe. It doesn't remove the rock. He started doing the exact bed stretch we're going to do today. The very first night he tried it, lying there in the dark, he felt a strange, deep release in his hip. For the first time in 6 months, the burning sensation faded into a dull hum, and then it just stopped. The relief was so profound he actually cried. He slept for 7 straight hours that night. Within a week of doing this one lazy stretch every single night, Richard had his life back. He was back in the garden, back to walking, and back to being himself. Most people try to stretch their sciatica away by bending over and trying to touch their toes. They think it's a tight hamstring, but doing that actually pulls the sciatic nerve even tighter over the locked piriformis muscle, which is why toe touches usually make your nerve pain feel significantly worse. You have to unlock the exact muscle that is doing the strangling. Now, I am going to walk you through exactly how to do this. Stretch right in your bed. But you have to pay extremely close attention to the details, because there is a very specific angle you need to hit. If you just grab your leg and pull it up haphazardly, you will completely miss the piriformis muscle, you won't release the nerve, and you will stay in pain. There is a precise mechanical adjustment you need to make with your body positioning to unlock that deep tissue. Right before I reveal exactly how to angle your legs to flip that instant relief switch, if you are serious about fixing your nerve pain, if you want to stop dreading bedtime, and if you want to keep living an active, independent life as you age without being trapped by joint pain, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. I post videos like this to help you heal your body naturally, and I don't want you to miss out on the one piece of information that could completely change your quality of life. All right, let's get into the exact mechanics of the stretch. You are going to do this tonight, right when you get into bed. You want to be lying perfectly flat on your back on your mattress. Do not use a massive, thick stack of pillows under your head for this part. You want to keep your neck relatively flat and neutral, so your entire spine is in a nice straight alignment. First, bend both of your knees and place the soles of your feet flat on the mattress. Take a slow, deep breath. In through your nose. Let your body weight heavy and sink into the bed. Notice where the pain is right now. Acknowledge it. Feel where it is radiating, because we are about to turn the volume way down on it. Let's say your sciatica pain is shooting down your right leg. That makes your right side your target side. You are going to lift your right leg up and cross your right ankle completely over your left knee. You should look like you are sitting comfortably in a chair reading a newspaper, making a physical number 4 shape with your legs. Now, here is the crucial detail where almost everyone messes up. People usually just take their hand and push their right knee away from them. That feels like a decent stretch for your inner thigh, but it is not hitting the deep sciatic trap we need to release. Instead, you need to reach both of your hands down and grab the back of your left thigh. That is the leg that still has its foot resting on the bed. You are essentially threading the needle, putting your right arm through the hole your legs just made, and bringing your left arm around the outside to clasp your hands tightly behind your left hamstring. If you cannot reach the back of your thigh because your hips are too stiff or your stomach is in the way, do not panic and absolutely do not strain your neck and shoulders trying to reach it. Just grab a towel, a leather belt, or even an old t-shirt, loop it behind your left thigh, and hold the ends firmly in your hands. Let the towel do the reaching for you so your upper body can stay completely relaxed against the mattress. Once you have your grip, gently, and I mean very gently, start to pull your left thigh up towards your chest. As you pull that left leg in toward you, your right ankle, which is locked over that left knee, is going to come along for the ride. It is going to be pushed toward your chest. The very moment you do this, you are going to feel a massive, deep, undeniable stretch right in the dead center of your right buttock. It might feel intense. It might even feel a little uncomfortable at first, like someone giving you a deep tissue massage right on a very sore bruise. That is the piriformis muscle. You have just successfully isolated it. You have effectively grabbed that heavy work boot and you are slowly, deliberately lifting it off the garden hose. Now we need to talk about how you breathe, because this is the secret to actually making the muscle let go. Do not hold your breath. When we feel a deep stretch or when we are in pain, our human instinct is to tense our entire body up and hold our breath. If you do that, your nervous system panics. Your muscles will fight back. They will literally contract and tighten up to protect themselves, which completely defeats the entire purpose of what we are doing. As you pull that leg into your chest, you need to force yourself to take a very slow, deep breath in through your nose, letting your belly expand like a balloon. As you exhale slowly out through your mouth, as if you are blowing out a candle, try to pull the leg just a tiny bit closer to your chest, just 1 millimeter. Use your exhale to sink deeper into the relief. You are going to hold this exact specific position for 60 full seconds. Not 20 seconds, not 30 seconds, a full, uninterrupted minute. Why is the time so important? Because the piriformis is a stubborn, dense, thick piece of meat. It has been locked up protecting that area all day long. It takes time for the muscle fibers to realize they are safe and to actually unclench. If you rush it and only hold it for 15 seconds, the muscle just snaps right back like a rubber band the second you let go, and you gain absolutely nothing. After your 60 seconds are up, slowly release your grip. Lower your left foot back down to the mattress. Uncross your right leg. Now, stretch both of your legs out completely straight on the bed and let your arms fall to your sides. Just lie there perfectly still for a moment. Pay very close attention to the right side of your lower body compared to the left. You will likely feel a strange, wonderful rush of warmth spreading through your glute and traveling down the back of your leg. That warmth is fresh, oxygen-rich blood rushing into the tissue that was previously clamped tight and starved of circulation. That feeling is the nerve finally being allowed to breathe. Why is it so absolutely crucial to do this right before sleeping? Because sleep is when your body enters its deepest, most profound healing phase. If you go to sleep with that muscle clamped down hard on the sciatic nerve, your body spends the entire night fighting inflammation. It is like trying to put out a house fire while someone keeps pouring gasoline through the window. Your nervous system stays in a constant state of high alert, which is why your sleep is so broken and restless. But when you manually release that mechanical pressure right before your head hits the pillow, you give that highly irritated nerve 8 straight hours of peace. The local inflammation naturally subsides. The myelin coating around the nerve has time to actually repair itself. You stop the cycle of pain before it ruins your tomorrow. Let me share a couple of common mistakes people make so you can avoid them tonight. Mistake number 1 is tilting the pelvis. When you pull your leg towards your chest, you must keep your tailbone glued flat to the mattress. Do not let your lower back curl up into the air. If your buttocks lift off the bed, you are just stretching your lower back muscles and you are completely missing the deep glute rotators. Keep your tailbone heavy and flat. Mistake number 2 is ignoring the other side of your body. Even if your sciatica is only shooting down your right leg, You absolutely must do this exact same stretch on your left leg too. Your body is a deeply connected mechanical web. If you only loosen one side of your pelvis, you create a physical imbalance. Your hips will become crooked. The way you walk will change to compensate. And eventually, the sciatic pain will just jump over to the other side. So do 60 seconds on the painful side and 60 seconds on the good side, 2 minutes total. That is all it takes to completely change your night. Now, while this bed stretch is an incredibly powerful tool, you also have to be mindful of how you actually fall asleep after you do it. If you are a side sleeper, which a lot of sciatica sufferers are, you cannot let your top leg completely drop over and collapse onto the mattress. When that top knee drops down, it twists your lower spine and pulls right back on that piriformis muscle. You just spent 2 minutes relaxing it, so do not immediately twist it back into a knot. Take a thick pillow, fold it in half if you have to, and put it right between your knees. You want your hips, your knees, and your ankles to be stacked in a relatively straight parallel line. This keeps your pelvis perfectly neutral and keeps the pressure entirely off the sciatic nerve while you sleep. Living with nerve pain is incredibly exhausting. It drains your daily energy, it steals your joy, and it makes you feel years older than you actually are. But you are not powerless against it. Your body is an incredible, adaptable machine. When you give it the right inputs, when you simply remove the mechanical stress that is causing the alarm bells to ring, your body knows exactly how to heal itself. You do not need to accept this pain as a normal part of getting older. You do not have to dread the moment you turn the lights out to go to bed tonight. So tonight, get into bed, take a deep breath and try this lazy stretch. Grab that thigh, feel that deep release in your hip, and finally get the deep, uninterrupted, painless sleep your body has been begging for. Now getting rid of your sciatica and finally getting a good night's sleep is going to give you your daytime energy back. You'll naturally be walking more, moving more, and getting back to enjoying your life. But as we get up and start moving around more, there is another massive, silent risk that creeps up on us as we age. And it has absolutely nothing to do with pain, but everything to do with your stability. In fact, most seniors completely ignore this hidden weakness until it results in a devastating injury. To find out what this hidden danger is and how to protect yourself using nothing but a regular chair in your living room, click the video on your screen right now titled "The Number 1 Reason Seniors Fall and 2 Lazy Chair Exercises to Stop It." Watch that next and I'll see you over there.